Hello everyone and welcome back to the Crypto Decoded channel. My name is Josh. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. Today we're going to be talking about the roadmap for Ethereum in 2018. As you all know, 2017 was quite an amazing year for Ethereum and the whole Ethereum ecosystem. We've had explosive growth and it's very, very exciting. One of the things that we will be talking about today are the technological improvements coming in 2018. But before I hop directly into that, I just wanted to share with you guys a few statistics about the Ethereum network that you might not actually know, okay? And they're kind of fun. I thought that they were very interesting. Okay, so over just about 1.2 million transactions are being processed and recorded by the Ethereum blockchain every single day. That is mind-blowing. That is crazy. The fact that there's demand for 1.2 million transactions on the Ethereum blockchain is kind of like mind-blowing to me. Maybe I'm just a super nerd, but that's okay. And then the other cool statistic that I found as of today, as of the day filming this video, January 12th, over 300,000 new Ethereum wallet addresses are being created every single day. That's 300,000 places that you can send Ethereum to and actually receive Ethereum from. Hopefully these are all new people adopting the Ethereum platform and using it for decentralized applications, because that is what Ethereum is built for. Okay, and then finally the last statistics that I thought was interesting was that there are over 33,000 nodes running the Ethereum network. Now that's just mind-boggling to me, but 33,000 computers are basically keeping a full history of the Ethereum blockchain, which is just really cool for me. I don't know, I'm probably a super nerd. You guys might not find that that's super interesting, but I think it'll be very interesting to see how those numbers change over the next year. I know you guys are very focused on price, but it's not the only number that matters, guys, okay? I mean, I'm happy with price too, but it's not the only number that matters, okay? So what is on the Ethereum roadmap for 2018? I'm glad you asked. I'm glad that you're here. But basically, the Ethereum Foundation and the people working on Ethereum are primarily focused on the scalability issue of Ethereum, which basically just means, if you're not familiar, Ethereum processes about 10 transactions per second, but imagine trying to run the entire Apple App Store, which is basically a pretty good analogy for what Ethereum is, because Ethereum is just a platform for decentralized applications. Imagine trying to do the whole App Store where it can only process 10 transactions per second. Like, that's a snail's pace, guys. We probably need hundreds of thousands of transactions per second if we want Ethereum to really become the ultimate vision that Vitalik created, okay? So what is Ethereum doing in 2018? It's trying to solve those scalability issues. Right now, Ethereum is currently running on a proof of work algorithm, which, if you're not familiar, it's the same algorithm that is running Bitcoin. Basically, miners just use their computer power to solve a cryptographic hash, and that essentially forms a consensus among the nodes in the network. And I'm getting way technical here, but basically that is how the transactions are added to the blockchain. If you want a very detailed guide, I'll leave a link over here to a video that I did basically going through the basics of blockchain. But that is the basics of the proof of work algorithm, okay? So what is Ethereum doing in 2018? Well, they have this thing called Casper FFG, which is basically, Casper FFG, which was basically the brainchild of Vitalik himself, okay? And so what this is a hybrid proof of work, proof of stake system, okay? So what this does is that in a very nominal manner, or in a way that we're all used to, 50 blocks are added to the blockchain using the proof of work algorithm, okay? And then after those 50 blocks are added to the blockchain, there becomes this checkpoint where the proof of stake algorithm basically gets to be tested, and it provides finality for these transactions included in the 50 blocks, okay? So what does that mean? Well, finality just basically means that they can't be changed ever again, and that they are verified to be accurate, okay? So once this finality checkpoint is reached, then they have the opportunity to test the upcoming proof of stake algorithm, okay? And the reason why this is so important is because Vlad, who is another member of the Ethereum Foundation, is actually working on this thing called Casper CBC, which is called Consensus by Construction. That's what CBC stands for. And essentially what Vlad is doing is that's the transition from the hybrid model to the fully proof of stake, no more proof of work algorithm for Ethereum, okay? So once they figure out how this proof of stake algorithm works, then they will be able to start to address some of the scalability issues. There are 3 proposed ways of dealing with scalability, but 2 of them rely on proof of stake. So that's kind of an overview of the upcoming changes to the Ethereum network and why they are so vitally important for everybody who believes in Ethereum. So just giving some timelines here, I believe that the Casper FFG is supposed to be released by Q2 of 2018, and then the fully proof-of-stake Casper CBC is actually, it's still being developed, and we do not have a definite release date or even a rumored release date for that matter, but it is still being worked on in 2018. Okay, so let's talk now about the scalability solutions that are being looked at the Ethereum Foundation, okay? So the first one is the Raiden network, and this does not depend on proof of stake at all. It could be implemented tomorrow if it was decided to be secure and ready for the mainnet. But basically, you can find them at raiden.network. I think that's their website. But basically what this does is that this allows for Lightning transactions, which you might have heard of from Bitcoin or Litecoin, for the Ethereum blockchain. And what it basically does is it sends a whole bunch of transactions that can be basically condensed off-chain, and then it adds them on-chain, okay? So what this does is it opens a channel with the Ethereum mainnet, which is basically one transaction, and then it basically settles up to, 100 transactions, let's say, and then it'll basically close the channel with the Ethereum mainnet, and when it closes it, it's one more transaction, okay? So we're talking about a total of 2 transactions, and with those opening and the closing of the channel, you potentially could settle up to hundreds of transactions. So that would be an amazing update to the performance of Ethereum, okay? So the other 2 options are actually dependent upon proof of stake, and they are sharding, which basically breaks the blocks that make up the blockchain into side chains. But again, this is reliant on proof of stake. If you want a more in-depth tutorial of sharding, leave a comment down below and leave a like on this video, and I will definitely probably make this video for you guys because it is a very complicated topic. And then we have another thing, which is also what Vitalik, excuse me, is working on right now, which is called Plasma. This is dependent upon proof of stake primarily, although it's debated whether or not you really need proof of stake for this to work. But basically, this is blockchains inside of blockchains. So that's an inception moment right there. I'm not going to go too in-depth into that. Again, if you want a video on Plasma, just a video on Plasma by itself, then leave a comment down below and I will definitely make sure that I put that out for you guys, okay? So that is kind of the upcoming changes for Ethereum. You know, I personally am a miner. I really, I enjoy profiting from the proof of work algorithm, but ultimately I do believe that proof of stake is going to be much better for the Ethereum ecosystem. I believe that it will allow for better scaling, and for that reason I think that it will be a huge benefit both to the Ethereum ecosystem and the price of Ethereum. So I'm a huge fan of this. I'm a huge fan of the upcoming changes. Again, in 2018, we're moving from the proof of work only system to the proof of work / proof of stake hybrid system that I described before, and hopefully we make incredible progress on moving to a fully proof of stake Ethereum. Okay guys, I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like button down below, and if you want to hear more videos like this, then subscribe. I would really appreciate having you join my little community here. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.